I'm feeling frisky today, okay? I don't know exactly what frisky means, but if it's a good thing, I'm feeling it, okay? I'm feeling frisky. I assume it's just cat food. But anyways, yeah, I've got myself a new shirt, dude. Freaking, it's got a cactus on it, okay? I like to wear shirts that have meaning and value, or at least something to me. And I don't know if you've ever heard the analogy for what the cactus is supposed to be. Typically, in our world, the cactus or the cacti is a metaphor for what it means to be a man, not just in this country, but in this world. The cactus, much like a man, is taught to kind of hide away its warmth, its emotion, its realness, its soul, the things that make a person a person. So it has that kind of offensive and prickly nature, like a guy kind of has to have a little bit of grit and a little bit of toughness. Because if you take away the needles, all the other succulents, the people, have a tendency to tear them down because they expect this strength from the cactus. They expect it to kind of be this upright monument of toughness. And it's hard, but it's just like every other plant. It's got that warmth, that vibrancy. It's got that water, those tears, the emotions. It feels, man. It feels, but it's tough in this world. And it's tough because the only way to really grow up and make it in a desolate wasteland like the desert society,
especially the little boy society,
is to have that abrasiveness like a cactus. So I relate and I resemble and I understand what it means to be a cactus because it is difficult. So it's a beautiful plant. It's a beautiful succulent. It's a beautiful feeling. So I don't know if you ever heard that, but that's what the cactus is. Or I don't know. I made all of that up. I got it because it was green and I really like it. Wow! All right. How's the microphone arm? Good. It checks. It checks. It checks. Hey, peeps. Welcome back to Full Circus. Very aggressive, very in your face because this is an important day. My name is Tristan Sartoris. All days are important. And I'm happy, visual aid for you, to be here with you guys today, man. And it's important. It's important to go places happy. A wise person once told me that being happy to be somewhere is half the battle in anything that you're doing, right? Because you are bringing a positive energy, a positive light to whatever the project is, whether it's a construction site or a movie set or just your freaking homework. Just bringing positive energy to whatever you're doing sets the tone for what that project can become. As opposed to bringing a negative energy, like I don't want to be here. Not only are you not really contributing to what we're trying to do here, but you're taking away. So all this positiveness that I'm shooting, you're just draining and you're not even doing anything with it. You're just burning it, throwing it into the incinerator of emotions. So it's important to be happy in all things that you do, and you can really get a lot done and put out a lot of light. So props to that guy who told me that. It was me. I told myself that just now. I made it up. So anyways, guys, what is going on in the world, man? I'll tell you what. I'm doing this episode 2 days after the last one. And it's always a fun experience to do these kind of lightning round episodes where I do it immediately after the other one. Because I don't have a lot of material, anything, like nothing's happened. It's a 48-hour time span. It's like when you have homework to do and you go to sleep and you wake up and your mom's like, hey, you finish your homework? And like, I was sleeping. I didn't have time. I don't have anything for you, So that's kind of how I feel. It's like you're just hopping on the highway fast lane, get off and get right back on, I didn't even get gas. We're just going. So it's a beautiful time. You can look back through the years of this show where we had kind of these back-to-back magical sessions. And it varies. Sometimes they're great, sometimes they're not. But I'm going to try and bring out the best. We don't really know what you're going to get in these situations. It's like trying to bring a bird out of a hat. Here's the dove! And sometimes it's the dove and people are impressed. And sometimes it's a freaking blue jay, And it's all those people who are bringing in negative energy that they're like, what the frick, magician? What an idiot. What a loser. You said you were going to bring a dove. You brought a blue jay out of a hat? Now, as someone who's just happy to be here, I'm like, you know what? That's okay. You did great. Clearly, it wasn't the bird that you were looking for. Okay, I suspect foul play, but it's still impressive nonetheless. Imagine you bring a freaking bird out of a hat. And you're a little embarrassed. You're like, I was trying for the dove. Why does the bird just spring? And people are like, screw you. You can't even get the right bird out. How lame is that? That's pretty mean. That's a tough crowd right there. I would have to quit being a magician at some point. You can't even appreciate a bird? A bird out of a hat? A bird out of anywhere is impressive, but a hat. So, anyways, I'm just trying to appreciate whatever bird we're going to pull out of a hat here and do this, because I'm going to my aunt's house to watch her dogs this week, and I won't be here on Thursday, which I usually record the episodes on. And I could do it Wednesday before I go, or Tuesday, or Monday. I have time. But let me tell you this. You don't do 107 episodes without a little careful planning. You don't leave things to chance. You get that crap done, okay? We pull doves out. I don't care if there's Blue Jays, Cardinals, Orioles, Crows, whatever's in the hat, a freaking dove's coming out. I'm bringing a dove out. Now, the dove might not be hilarious because he hasn't had a lot of time to prepare and he might not know how to fly just yet. But you know what? I'm bringing a dove, okay? Dead or alive, the dove's coming out of the hat. That's what this episode is. And I'm having a lot of fun. I'm happy to be here, guys. So it is an exciting episode because I like seeing what we do. You know, when you don't have anything planned, it's a lot of just an improvised, I'm going to bring the energy, okay? I'm going to bring the dove. Let's bring the dove. And I'm being proactive. So that's really what's been happening over these last 48 hours. I'm trying to, do the podcast, do this new episode, and I'm doing a lot better with my clips recently. Let's see, those little two words combined. It's a little conjunction of things that shouldn't go together. It's a little bit of a, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. I used all my words. You know, when I use too many words on one word, I lose the next ones because I spared them. I was supposed to leave those leftover ingredients, but I made this nice little cocktail of things that shouldn't go. So lately, I've been trying to get better at putting up podcast clips, and it's been great because there's amazing feedback. People are like, you're hilarious, you're amazing, you're so handsome. I'm like, thanks, Grandma. But a lot of people are enjoying the clips, and it's nice to have that affirmation and validation from people and to look out and enjoy it, because as someone who understands that time is precious and valuable, it means a lot that people are willing to spend it on me, whether it's just a clip or a full episode or whatever. So it's nice. I've been receiving a lot of positive feedback. People have been happy to be here. That's the kind of energy. And they're like, you're pulling a dove. And I was like, well, not all of a dove, but you saw it as a dove. Okay. It was a dog I painted white and I taped wings, but you thought it was a dove, and that's all that matters. Some of them can't be doves, but it's nice to have people loving it and feeling it. But I'll say this much. You have to be careful about putting stock and value in the good things that people say. Like, dude, love your hair. I'm like, are you sure? Because it kind of looks like I just stuck my head out of the passenger window while driving 45 miles an hour, which is very close. That's not what I did. I had to do it out of the backseat. They don't let me ride shotgun. But people say a lot of great things, and you try to appreciate it. But then when the negative things, when the people who aren't happy to be here start showing up, if you put just as much value in the new praise, you kind of have to do that into the disrespect that can come as well. So it's very rare, but we've been getting dislikes too. Okay, so with this newfound audience, we're getting dislikes now, and I didn't even know I could be disliked. I didn't know there was a dislike button. I didn't, but I see the freaking crap pop up. I'm like, dislike? Why do you dislike it? You know, for me, I can't even fathom disliking something, regardless if I agree with it or not. You know, that's the people who saw the guy pull out the Blue Jays, like dislike. But I'm like, you know, he pulled a bird. Even if it was something that I didn't agree with completely, if people are like, well, I think pineapple belongs on pizza, I'd be like, you know, I watched the whole video. I gave him my attention, my freaking time. If I wasn't interested in what he had to say to begin with, I wouldn't have spent it. So why am I going to dislike? Why they? I don't get it. It's a really interesting concept to me to give someone your energy, but then like, oh, I wasted so much time, I got to take it back by hitting this dislike button. So even though they dislike it, I was like, well, at least they spent the time to check it out. And that's where things got interesting, okay? Because I, as the person who uploads the video, I can see the time span, the freaking attention that goes before they hit the dislike. And the people who are disliking this are watching it for a good 6 seconds, okay, if that. Which means they're not letting me get to anything. Something about the way this show starts with me going, hey guys, what's up? My name is Tristan Sartoris. And they're like, I can't do it, no more. And I don't believe that. I don't think someone just goes, oh, wow, this charming intro is enough for me to dislike it. I believe I have a nemesis, okay? I have an enemy out here. I don't know who. I cut off in traffic, and I just have the windows down with the podcast blaring because, I love me some me. And he hears that, and he goes, oh, shivering with just anger. He Googles it. He's like, full circle, dislike. He didn't even give me the time. He's just disliking the stuff. And I'm sorry if I cut him off in traffic, but you know what? When you're listening to a freaking humor bomb that is this show, sometimes you don't pay attention, and I will accept responsibility for that. But isn't that interesting to dislike it without even giving it the freaking time? I find that funny in a way, because it's like I went to go knock on his door. And I say, hey, how you doing? And he's like, whoa, not for me. Dislike. I gotta close the door. I'm like, oh, man. No, it's different because he came to me. So it's like he knocked on my door, and I answer it full of smiles. And I go, hey, sir, how you doing? He goes, whoa, not for me. And he grabs my own door, closes it, and somehow manages to lock it. And then he TPs my house. And I don't know how this happened or what's going on, but it's just fun. It's a funny concept to just dislike. So, you know what? I got to say, even those 6 seconds, I'm appreciative of the time, dude. I come from a family of 4 boys. I understand what time means, and 6 seconds at all. I appreciate you. So dislike it all you want, dude. I value you and your time. And if he dislikes that, then that means he dislikes people valuing his own time. So look at that little loophole, psychological trick we busted out there. It's part of that 30 minutes class that I took in college. But I do value, I try not to value too much, but I do value the people say, and I do appreciate the new people that are watching. Hey, how you guys doing? Don't close the door. Okay, we're going to get to some good stuff. Hopefully, I don't have any notes. But it's a great time, and I love the attention. You know that. Okay, I'm a desperate and needy for attention. We know I'm going to value and put you guys up on a pedestal to some degree. But what's going on, man? Again, nothing's going on. Mom, I can't do the homework. I was sleeping. I will say, lately, I've been trying to work on my laughing. Okay, look at that. Look at how happy positivity I'm trying to put. I'm trying to laugh better, and that's because my laugh. I find a lot of things funny. I find myself funny. We know this, but my laugh, I don't have good diaphragm control, which means when I laugh, I just. Like I get punched in the gut, air knocked out, and I can't laugh. I have got no gas to laugh with, right? It's like a car. You're like, and I can't get it to turn over. It's great when I get it on and I bust it out, but a lot of times my laugh just comes out like a silent wheeze of joy. And I'm trying to overcome that because I love to laugh, and I'm trying to put out more. I care about the world. Look at that. But it is difficult because I just don't know how to freaking, it's hard to will yourself to laugh because immediately you're putting too much effort into something that's just like, you don't have to try to sneeze. You just kind of let it happen. And I'm trying to laugh better, I don't know where it came from. I feel like when I was younger, I had a nice, loud, jubilant laugh. But somewhere along the line, and the only thing I can really pick up on is that when I was 6 years old, I was laughing with a group of kids. We were watching something stupid, and it made us all laugh. And I go, oh, or whatever my laugh sounded like. I just felt like it was very passionate. And I remember this kid, and this kid turns around in the group of all of us, and he looks at me and he says, "What's with your laugh?" And I was 6 years old. I didn't have a good lying ability like I do now. Like, I'm great at lying now. I didn't know what to say. It's like, I know I ate something weird and it was, So I don't know for sure. I'm throwing out some heavy accusations to this kid that remains unnamed. Kevin. No. That something switched. That maybe I tried to hide or suppress whatever's happening going forward, and then I couldn't freaking activate it and turn it over as easy and as often from that point forward. So what I'm trying to do right now is really figure myself out. People are like, I gotta go find myself. I don't need to go backpacking through anywhere. I just need to be here and just come on, buddy, come on. This is the one instance where I wish I had a co-host. I wish I had somebody here that could make me laugh. because as much as I make myself laugh, I need someone to keep firing it where I don't know what they're going to say. I know what I'm going to say. My brain's like this. Hi, 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 hi. I already see everything. It's like I'm spoiling the joke for me every step of the way. I'm like, stop it, stop it, stop it. I need someone that's ahead of me that could spoil the joke. So I can just think of funny things. I can think of the Looney Tunes where Bugs Bunny, he's being chased by Daffy Duck, and they're out in the winter landscape, and he grabs a bucket of water and goes, I think I saw this in a toothpaste ad once. Ta-da! And he goes, smack!
I saw a guy do this in a toothpaste ad once. Ta-da!
But I can't keep on laughing at that. Or maybe I can. Let me think about it again.
Ta-da!
No! No wheeze.
Ta-da!
Ta-da! So it's got something there. But I need to keep on practicing, and this isn't the show to do it, but that's something I'm trying to really put forward in my life. And other than that, man, not much has happened. We had a family brunch, which we just had chicken wings, okay? And chicken wings, it's no secret. I love chicken wings, all right? Now, it's not a secret because I just told you. I announced it, right? And there's something magical about chicken. I don't care if it's a dove, it's a blue jay, whatever bird this thing comes from, the chicken's fantastic. Although, you do have to ask the one question that I've never seen the x-ray, the skeleton of a chicken, but I feel like this thing is just a bit too small, you know? Like, that can't be a grown-up bird. Now, I don't know if there's been enough evidence into this. I don't know all of my freaking foul knowledge, foul play. And I have to are these adult wings, or are they freaking getting like the baby chickens? Like, you're not going to amount to anything. You're not bringing enough happy energy. And they chuck these suckers up. And that's a scary thought, you know, because now that I've said that, I wasn't even really thinking about it until I mentioned it. So, I beat you. You know, I wasn't ahead of myself on that one. Are these baby chickens? Are there baby chickens out there that they feel like they're going to make it up in the world? He's like, I'm going to go up and be the greatest chicken of all time. And the farmer's like, yeah, sure you will, boy. That's a scary thought, dude. Can the chicken wings grow up? And what is, I've never seen. I need to see a side by side. What's a baby wing and what's a big wing? Because some of the math on the dimensions on the skeleton just isn't adding up. Because there's no way these little things are taking off anywhere. And if they're not chickens, there's something else. A dove, perhaps? Like, maybe in that sense, I'm like, that's a good thing. Man, you ever think, wow, I had 10 wings. That means I had 5 birds. When you put that in perspective, I am single-handedly eating a farm here. A whole coop. That's a lot of wings to have. That's a lot of birds I've consumed. And then you start throwing in the thighs in there. I'm like, yeah, spare no piece, throw the beak. Man, am I eating 5 baby birds every freaking lunch? And all of us. Okay, so we have freaking 6 of us. That's 30 birds. 30 birds. That makes you think. You know, I've never wanted to be a vegan or anything like that. But if I'm actually taking out 30 birds collectively as a family, you might have to go, gosh dang. Well, no wonder the quick overhaul, these birds have to be babies because they can't, if we're taking out 30 birds a week, we can't let them grow up all the way. Supply and demand, baby. I don't know. I don't know if I care about it that much. Sorry, birds. Like you guys have a purpose and it's great to serve something, but it's hard. How do you balance the human in you? You know, when you look at cows but although the cow, it's not like it's like if you give me a tiny piece of steak and you're like, oh, baby cow steak, and you're like, oh, scrumptious. Like these are tiny. So part of it is just a little bit off, but I don't know. Who's to say? I don't eat a lot of eggs, so I think I'm making up for it by all these baby chickens. So yeah, that was fun. It was delicious. Sorry to the birds up there. Rest in peace. Pieces. Okay. And what did we talk about? It was just kind of a fun, casual conversation. Although we did talk about children at one point. We were talking about having children, and I brought up the concept that I don't want children. All right, as myself, and right now, I can't imagine wanting to have kids. And then, just now, by then, I'm saying, you know, this was just a little bit ago, so my brain's still working. I don't have material for you guys. I'm thinking now, skip the details and the plot, there's something more interesting thoughts. Rock on! Okay, Tristan, okay. And to have a child, right? We think, why do we want child? Maybe it's just to have a family with our significant other, or to give grandchildren, or to just bring, I don't know all the reasons, but if you think about it logically, the reason people say we should all have kids is because we want to contribute and put more positivity to society, right? We're thinking, I want to bring more children and more of me into society to keep pushing more, right? This goodness. And I think, okay, now don't quote me on this, but you can if you want to, that to even have that thought, to be like, yes, I'm going to have more children. I think that me having children is good for the world. Is that an arrogant thought? A little narcissistic to think, you know what, to even have a chance of making a copy of me, even if it's 80% as great as I am, that will be making the world a better place. It is my duty to have kids because the world needs more of me. That's the only time I've ever wanted to have kids, until I just made that sentence. Like, that's kind of funny that now I'm like, yeah, maybe I should have kids, because that's a funny statement. But also, if that is true, I think then the responsibility also lies on, people who just, listen, aren't that great. And they have to go, I think the world would be better off. Not just without me, but, do we need copies? Do we need, I don't think we need more of me, is all I'm saying, okay? I like pineapple on pizza, and I recognize the shame that I'm having, and I think maybe the world would just be fine if my kind just fizzled out down at some point. Is that what it is? I think that's fair. I think that's fair to think that it's very arrogant to think that you should be having kids because you want to put more goodness and think that your kids are going to be so good in society. And then some of these crappy people, they're also having, you don't even recognize, self-recognition all the way. And that's part of the reason I don't know, because I don't know how would I raise a kid. I feel like me, dude, and this is my own arrogance. I don't think I can raise a kid the way I was raised and replicate this. I understand that if I had kids, I would be making the world a better place. I get that. Is it arrogant? Sure, but it's also a fact. So, but I'm lightning in a bottle, okay? I'm going to be honest with you. Let me just cut the corners. I'm not going to try and sugarcoat it and be a delicate. I understand I'm fantastic, but I don't know how to replicate this, to even get close. And then on some sort of off chance I get even close, the standards that my kids would have to live up to look at me and be like, oh my gosh, he's funny, he's talented, he's handsome, he's so cool, he's good at Super Smash. You know what the kind of pressure that would be for a young Tristan. I don't think that's fair. So surely I'd be putting some more positive energy out there, but I'd be also like, the ramifications of these sad little Tristans running around could be very dangerous. Okay, think about the destruction that I could be making if I wasn't this charged. I'm putting a lot of positive, but what if I was flipped? Anyways, that's just my 2 cents that I made up now. Take it for what it is, as a fact, okay? It's not just an opinion. It is my truth. It is my fact. You know what's interesting about opinions is that to everybody who has one, they are right, surely this is a comedy show, so everything I say, it's a freaking heat-beaten grain of salt. I'm just speaking. But in a normal, sincere conversation, to have an opinion about something, you believe it's true, and you believe it's your fact, and everyone believes that they are right. Everybody that has an opinion, everybody has one, everybody believes that they're correct. And that's a very destructive way, but there's no way around that, because you can't have an opinion and be like, you know what? I don't think self-driving cars should be a thing. And you're like, well, I know that's the wrong thing, but that's my truth. It just doesn't make any sense. I don't think there's a God. I know there's one, but it's my opinion that I don't think it's too conflicting. I think it's interesting, the fact, if you look at everybody, because everybody thinks they're right. Nobody can think, this is what I think, but I'm wrong. Nobody can think like that. Nobody can have a wrong opinion to them. And I think that's an interesting concept. That's a lot of power to give anybody, the fact that they think they're correct. Even if they're not, which a lot of people aren't. I haven't been correct most of my life. but I think I'm right all the freaking time, okay? Because you feel whatever you're feeling, whatever you're thinking, you're right. In your head, every opinion you have is the smartest thing that has ever existed, right? Whether it's off someone else's or you made it up your own, you are the smartest opinionated man or woman ever, with those opinions, whatever you believe. Think of any belief or opinion that you have about anything. If people who look at pineapple pizza, again, sure, they're wrong. But they look at that and they think this is delicious. And to them, they're right. And that's a crazy notion. It works the same way with humor. Everybody thinks they're funny. Even someone who isn't, like by the majority of people, they are funny to them. Like, it's like, hey, look at that. I see the bark on that tree and people thought it was so good. It was clearly pine. But Kevin, the guy who says that, he might not be funny to everybody else, but to Kevin is funny. And you don't have to be funny to everybody else to have that. He's funny to him, so he is right. His opinion, everything. It's interesting that everybody kind of has this own self-sufficiency, and yet we all seek the validation of others. Isn't that interesting? You don't need to be funny to everybody. You just need one single Kevin can make a difference. You don't have to make all the Kevins laugh. Only one Kevin. And that's enough validation, and he's his own Kevin. So I guess that's my message today, guys. Be your own Kevin. Whatever you do in this world, whether it's a positive impact or chaos and destruction, it doesn't matter. Just be your own Kevin. Believe and feel yourself. You are your own Kevin. You're good enough to be your own Kevin, dang it. So that's what I've been thinking about, man. Kevins are great. So I don't have anything else that listen, a lot of Kevins have been out in this world. I will say this, though, in my recent 48 hours, I saw something online that said Snoop Dogg. Okay, Snoop Dogg, he's very famous for smoking a lot of weed, the D-O-double-G. And not only is this his little thing, but that he has his own personal blunt roller. Now, I've never smoked a drug or many drugs. I don't even know what a blunt is. I don't know what it looks like, but the fact that you roll it, so I don't, my body language might not perfectly represent, but I'm just trying to picture what it looks like, because she said that she rolls up to 150 blunts a day. That's a lot of blunts. Okay, he's smoking, she's rolling. We gotta get these, that's a lot of work out there. And I assume it's a very simple process, because you're just, again, I don't know if this is, I feel like when I don't know anything about drugs, so when I try and encapsulate what it looks like, I'm just kind of doing the Macarena. Hey, Snoop Dogg's high. But it's an interesting job. Oh, that wasn't it? But it wasn't an A. It was an interesting, no, it wasn't. Ouch! That's right. You messed up. But yeah, it's an interesting, and she makes bank off it. And what's even crazier is that she had to go into a roll-off, and they had multiple people that had this skill. I don't even know if you put that on a job application. It seems like a dangerous resume, but, hey, freaking sad. You're rolling blunts. So listen, there's a lot of game shows out there, but I feel like we're missing some of the best ones. I don't care what the price of a washing machine is. I would like to see people walk into Snoop Dogg's castle, and it's just it's toked up. It's just cloudy. And they have a line of people like it's Master Chef. Like, yes, chef. And they're rolling. There's clock and beads of sweat. Boop, boop, boop. Oh, Lisa's at 29 in the 30 seconds, but Katie's coming up fast, racing. And here comes Mary Ann with 75 in the fight. And you're like, oh my gosh, Mary Ann's rolling blunts like nobody's business. That's crazy. And she won the job. She's making bank rolling blunt. And, some people diss them because, what a waste of money. But listen, I don't smoke drugs, but more power to you. If you've got the money to do that, man. I mean, I wouldn't be doing it for drugs. I would be doing it for other inconveniences. I would do it for someone to follow me around and keep the sun out of my eyes, oh, there's a cloud. I got to put the sunglasses back down. Oh, sun's back. That whole shtick. I'd be like, dude, you just follow, just shield. Sun's out. You get me. You get me. You get me. Oh, we're good. You get me. You get me. I need a guy like that. I need a guy that will just follow me around and untangle my headphone wires. I don't know what Eagle Scout got these and messed these up, but you take them, okay? I don't want to deal with that. That's the kind of things I would like to buy. If I had Snoop Dogg's money, instead of buying a blunt roller, I would get somebody that would twirl the pasta for me, when I have a big competition, and they grab the spoon, here you go, sir. I'm like, bang, another one. 150 forkfuls of pasta and spaghetti. Now we're talking. That's pretty elite. So everybody looks at Snoop Dogg and he looks so young. Like, I'm Snoop Dogg. That's not my best impression, but I'm Snoop Dogg and I look so young. And they say that it's just probably because he's got no stress because, he's on weed all the time. He's so high. But I would argue it's because he's not stressed about the dumb little things in life. Like, if he has someone to roll a blunt, like, look at the amount of energy I'm putting into this. He has to do that 150 times if he doesn't pay this girl. So he's removing the stress from these stupid little tasks. If he's got that, imagine what else he has, okay? A butt wiper? I don't know. Somebody to fix the brim in his hat? There's a lot of possibilities out here. So it's not about, when you have money, figuring out how I can live as long as possible. It's about optimizing the time you have. Just the time it takes to tie your shoes every day. You switch to Velcro immediately, boom. You're adding hours onto your lifespan. Days even. So I think it's a beautiful thing. I mean, he's got to be so high, though. 150? Again, I have no reference point, but I've smelled a skunk and just one of those was bad enough. 150 times he's got to give me. I don't know if it only takes one hit, but I just imagine his head like inflating like a balloon. It's the D-O-double-G. Also, probably not a good group of people because that girl doesn't have job security if he like decides to get sober at some point. If he was like, I don't want to do this anymore. It's like, whoa, what do you mean? And she's like trying to stress him out. It's like, hey, Snoop Dogg, it's come to my surprise that your credit score has just went down. He's like, oh my gosh, and I'm stressed, and that's kind of what it is. You got to make sure he doesn't get better because I need to keep on rolling. Unless he gets paid by the blunt, but in that case, I'd be like just cranking him out. I'd be like, you got to stay stressed. Yeah, who's your favorite football team? Yeah, they lost. Doesn't even matter. But anyways, props to Snoop Dogg. You got to use your money where it matters. Whatever you feel. Think of the most inconvenient things that you spend in your life and imagine you have somebody to do it. But also, you're having the best person do it, okay? Think, whatever it is. Maybe it's like cleaning out your phone case. You bring in a bunch of people. It's a showdown. I can clean it better than you. I can clean it better, whatever it is. And then you have the best person at that. That's a fantastic reality. So that's pretty nice. Props to him. Is there anything else that's going on? No, not really, man. I think I'm just happy to be here. I'm happy. I'm a little jealous that I don't have anybody twirling spaghetti for me. I'm trying to get better at my diaphragm. I'm worried about these baby chickens, and I'm never going to have kids. But also, dude, here's the other thing about having kids now that I thought about it. It's not even about raising the kid to make sure he's a good person. Like, yeah, like he'll have charm and charisma and manners and politeness. But do you know how hard it is to convince a kid to be a Browns fan in this day and age? Okay? If I get a kid, I'm like, no, we like Cleveland. He's like, there's Super Bowl teams out here. They haven't gotten close anytime because, my kid would be so smart. For a good thing. But, and he would think he's right, but he probably isn't because that's also the thing. But that's impossible. It's easy you could tell a kid anything, believe anything. You could trick him into anything, but I feel like a kid would be like, Cleveland? Really? So I couldn't do it because there's no way I'm having another kid in my house that doesn't cheer on the same team and then he's got to root against me, then his team inevitably wins again. I'm like, go to your room, okay? Did you get the homework done? He's like, it's only been 40. I haven't slept yet. So, I think that's everything I wanted to talk about, guys. I'm just having a good time, and wish me luck, because right now I am with some dogs, and I was going to say they're a mess, but these are good dogs. It's nice to have good dogs in the world. There's a lot of bad dogs. There's a lot of bad kids, okay? There's a lot of bad dog owners, people that probably shouldn't have kids. If you shouldn't have kids, you probably shouldn't have a dog either. But what do I know? I'm still twirling my own spaghetti. Guys, thanks so much. I can't, dang it, I did it again. Diaphragm.